Hello Internet, and welcome to my review for Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba, Episode 4. When we last left off, a lot of stuff happened because we covered 3 episodes at once, but anyway, Tanjiro's family died, his sister Nezuko became a demon, he started training with Saionji Urokodaki, who after a year told him to cut a boulder in two, and then he would let him go to the final selection where he could become a full-fledged Demon Slayer. After that, he failed for around 6 months until he met we eventually learned is a ghost, named Sabito, who, along with his sister Malcolmo, I think his sister, I don't know if it's actually ever said their brother and sister, but they're most likely brother and sister, trains him for another 6 months so he can finally cut Sabito's mask, but it turns out the mask is the boulder itself, and, Tanjiro gains the right to go to the final selection and become a Demon Slayer. That's the first 3 episodes in 1 minute. Now on to episode 4. So the first thing we find out is that Tanjiro won his battle last episode because he's gained the ability to smell the thread of an opening. An opening is in his opponent's battle. Think Haruhiro's backstab in Grimgar. I actually never saw the anime of that, so I don't know if they're visualized the same way, but it's the same kind of idea. At this point, though, there better be some kind of secret with Tanjiro's sense of smell. Because while I may be able to accept that, like, over 2 years he's trained with the sword enough to, like, visualize his opponent's openings, to smell their openings, that's a little much at the moment. Though with all the ways his smell is brought up, both in its combat proficiency and in its relations to Urokodaki, there has to be something there. There's definitely something there. I'll be very shocked if it's just, like, a thing that keeps getting brought up without ever really being expanded upon. That would really surprise me. But anyway, with that, Tanjiro is headed to the final selection. So yeah, we're finally getting to the final selection. I say finally, but we're like at episode 4 and our training's already done. We're 2 years since the show first started. Anyway, before Tanjiro goes, Urokodaki gives him a warding mask to protect him from harm. It doesn't work, though, as we learned, because there's a super powerful demon on the mountain, that's name I forget. I've written the mountain's name. Starts with a K, where the exam is, that's specifically tracking Urokodaki's disciples, from the masks. We'll talk about that when we get to the demon, though. For now, though, I want to ask if that's the same kind of mask Urokodaki wears. So we know that Urokodaki, is carved in the same style as his goblin mask, because the Morphed Demon tells us that later on. But does it have the same powers? Does Urokodaki's mask have the same powers that Tanjiro's did before it got broken? If so, why would a master need a mask to ward away demons? Maybe he's just getting old? But no, because he still had the mask like 50 years ago when he fought the Morphed Demon, so that's weird. But anyway, we do get confirmation, though. Sabito and Makimo were ghosts. That's confirmed as Tanjiro is leaving for the final selection, and we get a lot more details on their deaths in the confrontation with the Morphed Demon who killed them. So we know that they were very clearly not sent by Urokodaki. Their whole existence raises all kinds of questions about ghosts in the world of Demon Slayer. You know, demons at least have some kind of in-universe science to them. What Giyu said in episode 1 about exposure to demon blood being how demons are created. I have something to say about that during the Morphed Demon fight, by the way. But, like, how do their ghosts work? How does that happen? Is the brother whose voice wakes Tanjiro up when he's about to be killed by the Morphed Demon at the end of the episode, is that a ghost? Or is that just some kind of instinctual thing in Tanjiro visualizing itself as his brother? I don't know. Did they help Tanjiro because they sympathize with him? They've been through the same thing. Did they think immediately that he could take down the Morphed Demon? You know, they seem to be very concerned with that as the episode goes on. But yeah, I don't know. Some of those questions, I don't know if we're going to get anymore now the Morphed Demon's dead. Will that allow Sabito and Makimo's souls to move on? Those are a lot of things we don't really know yet. But yeah, they might be coming around still. I don't know, maybe they're just stuck wandering the worlds? Who knows? Ghosts are something the series has not really explored yet, and I'm curious to see what we're doing with them. Anyway, on to the plot. So Tanjiro's arrival at the final selection gives us several characters we've seen in the OP, including the blonde guy, who we learn from the next time preview is named Zenitsu, who seems to end up being friends with Tanjiro and the Hogman from the opening. But unfortunately, we have yet to have any signs of the Hogman himself. I want to see the Hogman, please. He's just completely fucking weird. We also find out the rules for the final selection, thanks to some delightfully creepy anime twins. The candidates have to survive on a mountain crawling the demons for a week. And the demons are stuck up there because demons are apparently weak to wisterias. So the mountain's like surrounded by wisterias, so the demons are stuck up there. That being said, it is a shame we cannot stay with the wisterias because I love the way they light the space. Like, the kind of purple light reflecting on everything looks so cool, and I'm really sad we're kind of stuck with the more dark browns and greens that we see in the actual exam space. But you know, that's a pretty minor thing. Anyway, once the final selection gets underway, we do get our first fight scene of the episode, as Tanjiro almost immediately runs into two demons that he handles with a plum. As always, the animation in this fight is great, and the demon designs are a lot of fun. Admittedly, they will not compare to the Morphed Demon that I will talk about in just a minute. There's not much to say there that I haven't said already in the last video, because, again, the animation is great in Demon Slayer, and the demon designs are great. Those are two great things about this show. Two of many. But anyway, let's jump right on through to the Morphed Demon. I will admit, I don't know if it was meant to be a surprise that the Morphed Demon was responsible for Sabito and Makima's death, because as soon as it cut away to their spirits talking about it, like, oh, that's how they died. That's absolutely how they died. So yeah, I don't think it was meant to be a big reveal. It's better that it's not a big reveal because it's just like pretty obvious. But like honestly, the Morphed Demon is absolutely delightful. Its character design is this great like grotesque thing that just always looks really cool. It's like absurdly powerful, but it never really feels like there's no way for Tanjiro to bring it down. You know, we never feel completely outmatched. We feel like Tanjiro is the weaker party here. But never to like the extent that some shows, specifically like Late Fairy Tail, has this bad habit of making villains so strong that never makes any sense they could ever lose. And the Morphed Demon is thankfully below that line while still seeing well above Tanjiro's power level. His personality is also really fun when he starts like freaking out because the era has changed. That's a great bit. I love him. A part of me wishes we had more time with him, but honestly, he's done his part. He's gone. Question the Morphed Demon raises though is, does Orokodaki know he's there? You know, if so, because the Morphed Demon recognizes Orokodaki's disciples by their warding masks, is Orokodaki giving his students the masks so that they can be targeted by the Morphed Demon? Admittedly, that's incredibly unlikely. But if not, then he can't know the masks are what make the Morphed Demon target his students, right? There's no way he knows that. I will say, something Sabito says lends credence to the theory that Orokodaki at least knows the Morphed Demon is still alive and there, and targeting his disciples, at least. He mentions that Tanjiro cut the toughest, largest boulder of all. And given that they make a big deal about how, like, tough the Morphed Demon's neck is, it does imply that Orokodaki has realized that that's the kind of power needed to bring down the Morphed Demon, because no other demon requires the power that the Morphed Demon does, as we see when Sabito's blade, like, snaps off the Morphed Demon's neck. Anyway, the fight begins. Tanjiro is quickly knocked out by the Morphed Demon. He's almost eaten, but he's woken up at the last second by the voice of one of his brothers. Again, we don't know if that's just some kind of vision or another ghost, like the siblings. But Tanjiro gets back up and wins the fight in a truly epic sequence, utilizing all of his skills, from his weird sense of smell, to total concentration breathing, to not backstab, to just slicing really hard. It's a great ending to a great episode. I don't have a lot to say about that whole scene besides it's just great and visceral and incredible and holy shit, watch this show. Watch that scene at least, but watch the whole show around it too. It's pretty great too. This episode was great. Ufotable is hitting it out of the park once again with their spectacular art and animation, bolstering the biggest fight yet with Tanjiro and the Morphed Demon. I will admit the first half of this episode is a little slow, though it still raises plenty of questions about Sabito and Makimo, that would all be important by episode's end. All that slowness, though, is made up for by the Morphed Demon. He is a total delight, even if he does kill children, while still being incredibly grotesque and creepy and phenomenal. I love him. And seeing Tanjiro's growth, even over the course of just 4 episodes, is great, as he finally manages to do what none of Orokodaki's students have ever been able to do. You go, Tanjiro! Next time, I can't imagine there's too much left in the final selection, because the Morphed Demon fight was just so big, but it seems we'll finally be meeting Blonde Guy named Zenitsu next week. So I'm going to leave this video off here. Hope you all enjoyed the episode and the video itself. If you did, feel free to drop me a like, or subscribe, or, do whatever makes you happy. And remember, your life is your own, okay? Bye!